Good morning, Philosophy 1015, and welcome to class. I am Nicholas Wales. I'll be your instructor in this class. I am the Dean of Academic Affairs and Online Learning at Florida Northwestern Community College, way over on the western slope in Rangeley, Colorado. So I figured I would start class by doing a video that is just a general welcome to class, an overview of the way D2L is set up, and then just a brief introduction to our first week. So to begin with, I want to remind each of you and encourage each of you to review the weekly announcements that I will post with a video, much like this one, that is designed to introduce the week's topic, maybe cover the relationship between the current week and the previous week, and then any clarification of any assignments or any other general information that I believe that you will need for the class. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So if you head over into content, all of my online courses are structured in a very similar manner. So first and foremost, go ahead and click on that Start Here module. Just some general information about the online courses that I teach. And down here at the bottom, you'll find a schedule an appointment link. This is a way for you to schedule office hours with me just to answer any questions that you may need. This link will put something directly on my calendar. You can schedule it as a phone call, you can schedule it as a Zoom meeting, and you have that 15 or 30 minutes just to kind of sit with me and I can answer any questions that you may have. So that's available there for you. The next thing that I want to encourage you to go to is the syllabus and course schedule. So if you click on the link, it'll open up our syllabus and course schedule. And so this class, you can see the catalog course description here. It is a introductory class to religious studies in general, but then doing a comparative study of, quote, Western religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And one of the important things and what you're going to learn about this week with religious studies is it's an academic discipline that covers many different spaces within the arts and humanities and even social sciences. So depending on the week, we're going to use all of these different tools that different scholars use. And so right here are the important dates for you, including the census date, exam, and just a general overview of time commitment. So if you just think about this 3-credit online class, there is some significant time management that will need to be considered when working on this class, between watching the short weekly introductory video, completing the reading, doing the discussion and quiz every week, and as well as working on the study guide. So just plan accordingly. If you have questions about that, I can answer them. Course outcomes, topical outline, all of that information is available for you there. And then your course materials. So just due to the nature of this class, there are 3 different open educational resource textbooks available for you. So you can see them linked here on the syllabus, but if you jumped back to D2L, you can also find links to these e-texts right here as well, okay? And these texts, I'll show you how they're kind of listed on the course schedule so that you have an understanding about which text I'm asking you to read for what week. So basically this class, you've got an introductory discussion post, which we'll talk about shortly, but each week there is a discussion and a quiz. That's your regular assignments every week. There is an exam which covers the first half of the class and an exam that covers the second half of the class. That's in essence the grading that I have for you. And scrolling down to the course schedule, I've structured it in a way that this class is built out by week. And so you'll see, in essence, the topic for the week, the reading, and the assignments. So for example here, what I've done is titled the reading based on the author of the book. So for example, week 1, I'm asking you to read chapter 1 from Riggs and Hagler. So if you scroll back up to those course materials, you'll see Riggs and Hagler. Week 2 is referencing Mackenzie, and then you'll also see one that says Lumen. And so that's the reading that I am asking you to complete. We'll talk more about that shortly when I kind of walk you through week 1. Okay, so technical requirements, literacy skills, accessibility. If you do know that you do have an accommodation feel free to give me a heads up, but unfortunately that accommodation isn't in effect until I receive the accommodation notification from your home college. So you may need, I suggest just kind of following up, make sure that's all being processed in an appropriate amount of time. General links and resources to library, tutoring, those things. The census date that's listed on the first page of the syllabus. In order to not be dropped for non-attendance in this class, you need to complete a substantive assignment beyond just the course introduction. So what I'm referencing is a discussion, the quiz, etc. Mandatory reporting policy, and then academic integrity. So since I am at CNCC, I operate under CNCC's academic integrity policy, right? Cheating, plagiarism, but most importantly, this course is designed around demonstration of your knowledge, your critical thinking, etc. This means that the use of AI is not permitted unless I explicitly state in writing that it is permitted. If AI is used, then unfortunately you are in violation of academic integrity. My suggestion is please always reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to answer that for you. Late policy. I have provided you all of the assignments from week 1 to the end of the semester. If you do know that there is going to be something that is going to conflict when something is due, please just reach out ahead of time and we can come up with an option for you. All right. So let's jump back into D12 and go into week 1. So each week there will be some kind of just 3 to 5 sentence just introductory text that talks about the topic for this week. So in an effort to set us on the right path, we're going to focus this week on just introducing ourselves to religious studies. Religious studies is a fascinating discipline in the sense that it bridges many spaces within academia. It is both history, it is humanities, it's religion, it's social sciences, it is so many different things. And so our goal this week is just to introduce it, introduce like the key terms and tools that we use as scholars of religion, so that way as we continue through the course, you have that foundation in how that works. And so at the bottom of this little intro section, you'll kind of see just a list of things to do for this week. So I'll remind you, check out the reading on the syllabus and course schedule, and then I will list the assignments for the week, and then the study guide, which I'll talk about in a minute. Okay. So first and foremost, this week we will need to address sorry for the interruption. We are replacing the windows in my office building, so it got a little loud for a second. So where was I? So each week, right, you'll see that introductory paragraph talking about the topic. You will also see the list of the tasks for this week. So for example, one of the first things I want you to complete by Wednesday, introduce yourself to the class. Your name, what's your home college, what you're studying, classes you're taking, just general information, and then share a video, YouTube, TED Talk, whatever, that is of special interest to you or is representative of you. It's a way for us to get to know each other, create that community that is always easier in a face-to-face classroom, so I want to start off with that. And then looking down is your week discussion. So as I said, we want to learn about what religious studies is. So this first discussion is designed, and all discussions in this class is designed for you to demonstrate that you've completed the reading, that you understand that reading, and then can think critically and write critically about that reading to ensure that the course material for that week is understood. So the way the discussions work between week 1 and the end of the semester is Wednesday night, you will make your reply to one of the questions that I've asked you. Please try to spread these out amongst your peers. So we all don't have just number 1. And you're going to make a initial post Wednesday that is 250 words. In essence, think about this as a small essay, right? You've got, you're introducing the topic, you're introducing key terms, and you're making an argument that is addressing whatever it is I've asked in that question, and then in essence, body paragraphs that are filled with evidence from the chapter, and you're citing your sources, okay? By Friday night, you respond to 2 of your peers, and these are 150 words each because I'm expecting substantive responses that go beyond, yeah, I agree with you. This is where I want you to engage in a dialogue. I want a discourse between you and your peers about whatever they wrote about, your knowledge, your contributions, other sources, other information, so that in essence we're having that in-class discussion. Okay. And then Sunday night, I want you to reply to the people that replied to your initial post, and in essence to acknowledge they posted, to thank them, etc. Most importantly, right, understand you are active 3 days a week in the discussion. You can find the rubric for how discussions are graded posted in every discussion, okay? And then each week there is a reading quiz that is posted. This is 10 questions, multiple choice, true, false, on that week's reading. Another way for you to demonstrate you understood the material. These questions are very similar to what's going to be on the exam. Also, many of these questions will be recycled on the exam. So in essence, this is one of those tools to help you study in preparation for that exam. Also, important to talk to you about is the study guide. So these study guides are Word documents where I've listed all the key terms that I think are important from each chapter. And so download this Word document and work on this on a weekly basis as you're completing the reading. And so that helps you not only fill out the study guide, but prepare for your weekly assignments. Doing so, right, you should be able to ace that exam when time comes. And then one other thing I want to show you in our effort to understand what religious studies is, I also, in nearly every module, have posted some additional resources down at the bottom for you. Just little videos to kind of help you understand topics that may be a little confusing or a little abstract. But that said, I look forward to meeting all of you. And again, please reach out if you have any questions.